It's James Out West, featuring Ryan Rooks.
Good morning, Phoenix and friends. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? James Out West on this Thursday, October 27th, 2022, in the studio. Week 8 NFL picks. Rooks in the house. Y'all can see us on YouTube Live.
Good to be here.
Been an interesting morning so far, just because I realized that the music we played is a recording of a recording, and I hear Rooks in the background going, doo, doo, doo. It'll happen every time if I play this particular one. So that will end next week.
I won't do anymore.
Shout out Kathy, do. Those that know, you know. All right, so what a week 7. Now, we were on the radio on Monday. The show should be up on Spotify here shortly. It had a hard time compressing
It was a glitch.
this week, but neither here nor there. We got it done. You, sir, real quick, because we already talked about the footballs that happened. Monday, we talked about what happened on Monday night. Can't believe Chicago did what they did. We had a great show. Tuesday was your first time of being able to go as a credentialed media member, for the Phoenix Sun. Shout out KDUS 1060 AM.
Yes, thank you very
for
much.
For the opportunity. And you got to go see your childhood favorite team of all time take on the Suns and have to not be a fan.
And adulthood.
Yeah, and how was that?
It was probably one of the most epic nights I've ever had. Besides, obviously, kids, wedding, the
major life events.
Major things. But as far as an entertainment thing, I never thought I would be in this position in my life. It was epic. You go up to the suite where you're sitting down, being able to look over. You got your monitor on your right that's showing the game. You have your laptop in front of you. I'm live. Trying to live type and post to our website while watching.
Harder than it looks.
A lot harder than it is because half the time I was missing things. And then on my left, I have the box score and every stat, which is amazing. Then you go downstairs and you get fed great food.
Yeah, what was the food spread?
So it was salmon, which is what I had, which was great. They had salad. They had a bunch of different pasta salads and things like that. And then was it oxtail? I believe
really?
Yeah. It looked really, really good, but I can't eat that.
Well, I'll tell you, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was great. And then I go down at halftime and I'm sitting there and I think I'm texting either you or my wife, and I look up and 2 feet to my left is Steph Curry. We're like walking next to each other. So that was cool. Come out, got to meet in the press conference, got to see obviously Booker, CP3,
right,
Coach.
Okay, so those were the 3 that they brought up.
Yes, yeah.
Coach every time.
We knew Booker was going to come. We figured Booker was going to come
with the 34.
With the 34 points, but also with the situation with Clay and Clay getting kicked out of his game.
There were seven technicals in the third quarter. What?
The place was lit. They sold out, so
17,701 or whatever.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was amazing. So then I got to meet what's his name?
Amin Al-Hassid, shout out.
Thank you, Amin Al-Hassid. Dude, great guy. Amazing. We were chopping it up. He sat right behind me in the presser. It was great. And then come out, it's like 10:30, 10:45, leaving the stadium or the arena, and I walk literally into Andre Iguodala, DeAndre Hopkins, and Larry Fitzpatrick.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh my God.
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick.
Larry Fitzpatrick. Although that dude would have an epic beard and be tall.
That would be funny.
Larry Fitzgerald.
I met Larry Fitzgerald
Ryan
a couple
Fitzpatrick.
times, but that was cool.
Larry Fitzmagic.
I'm sorry, Fitzgerald. And then there was another gentleman, but we couldn't figure out who the heck
I couldn't place his face to save my life.
Like sitting here he's probably 6'10", but
either way, had a tremendous time. You were down basically all the way to the court. Don't put your feet on the court, but you can get as close as that.
Oh yeah, Draymond Green. He ran into me. Uh-huh.
You did. You actually ventured out more than I did.
Oh yeah, I went down on the court.
Because I went up. I was there so much early. Went up, made sure I got my stuff situated. Wanted to make sure I was good to go. We checked out the food, but I didn't go down to because there's a pregame press conference you can go to at about 5:15 or 45 minutes before game time or whatever, and then you can go down the court like you did, at any time while they're doing the shoot around. You can walk down there,
the tunnel and walk.
I just never. I didn't do it. So I will be, because I'll be there tomorrow for the New Orleans Pelicans game.
It was awesome when I went down. So at halftime, like I said, Draymond, like we bumped shoulders. It was kind of like hilarious. I'm like, oh man, I got to get out of the way. But to look up, I'm 6'5".
Well, you didn't bump shoulders though. You like bumped him in his elbow.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. But like to look up at a man, that doesn't happen very often in my life. But then also to go down, walk kind of around the arena on the floor, and then I look and Reggie Miller and Candace Parker are standing there. Sit down. Candace Parker turns back around, waves, smiles. Man, like what am I?
Where am I at right now?
Yeah,
like I said, it was surreal. It was awesome, dude. I'm glad for you.
Yeah.
We'll have many more of those. I'm excited about it.
One of many.
One of many, absolutely.
All right.
So that was pretty cool. I mean, I'm glad you were able to go. I'm glad you got to experience what you did. Kind of a quick, not quirky, but funny, just how small the world is. So you sent me that picture of you and Amin, and I sent it to Pat. Shout out Pat Stat Guy. He's at home. Maybe he's watching right now. Shout out. Text me if you are. If you have any questions you want to ask or talk some shit. He was like, dude, that's Tommy's boy. And not Tommy Boy, the movie, rest in peace, Chris Farley. But Tom Habistro, ESPN, no longer ESPN, Meadowlark Media. He's in with all those guys, so is Amin. So that's like his dude. They talk basketball all the time. They have podcasts about all kinds of stuff. So he's like, that's Tommy's dude. I was like, I know. That's why I'm sending you the picture. Like, I know he is. Amin went to ASU. Yeah. And he was a part of the Suns organization for a small part.
He wasn't even there doing anything. He was
just there.
Yeah, he was just hanging out.
Yeah. Because he's on NBA radio. So I listen to NBA radio on satellite from time to time, and he's usually on, and he's pretty funny.
He was a character. Funny. He was great. He was very, very nice. He ran into, there was a gal that I can't remember her name, but she was amazing. We were all kind of chopping it up in between. They knew each other, and she was like, hey, can we get a picture? I was like, hey, you want me to take the picture for you? As long as you'll take a picture with me.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh yeah,
course,
okay, no problem. So yeah, it was awesome. It was really surreal, like I said, but super cool. But
is it sad? My goal might be just to get dapped up by Doris when ESPN's in town. Or actually, she's AB. Well, she does ESPN too. I mean, it's ABC, but which oddly enough, like we talked. Hey, dude, she's stud baller.
She's been around forever.
And she knows her stuff, dude. She's legit. She's legit as it gets. And I like her. I like the way that her aspect and the way that she looks at the game.
Oh, absolutely.
So
because she's been around so long, she knows the ins and outs that you want to know. Like understanding, like when I was down there and in the presser, you hear so much more behind the scenes of what's going on. So doing that for 20, 25 years, 30 years. Yeah, she knows her stuff.
So it's pretty cool. I'm excited for you. Excited for the rest of the season. Obviously, it helps when the Suns are relevant and good. Not that they haven't been. Not that they haven't been, because they have, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's.
Yeah, don't ask Devin Booker that again.
I won't. Actually, you know what? I probably will. But like, hey, I'm going to recycle a question.
Man, and that's the thing is that every question I wanted to ask, somebody came up with it and asked, and then I didn't.
Or they answer it in a way that it'd be redundant for you to ask.
Correct. And you want to make sure that it's actually relevant. You're not just asking some stupid ass fucking question, right? But it was also my first time. I would rather that I'm recognized. I know I'm a big guy, tattooed. I don't want to be recognized as that first stupid fucking question.
I was okay being that way because, your stature and everything.
You're small. And
the stature. And it's not. I'm not small. I'm just not tall.
Joking.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not small. I'm just not tall.
Ooh.
Hey, T-shirt, ring it up.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Let's get into some fucking
no
football.
No more NBA for the rest of the convo. I just wanted to talk to you about it because it's fresh off the heels. It was on Tuesday.
It was fucking epic. It was epic.
And it was also a beatdown. So you got to go there and see your team get their ass whooped, which was kind of nice because you'll accept that.
For me.
I was like, you'll accept that considering what it was. Oh, well, I hope so.
Well, when I'm going,
I didn't want this to be a one and done for you. Well, you're still on, but Ryan's no longer allowed at the games. Actually.
that absolutely could have happened. And if the Warriors would have won, like I'm going to the presser, so you can go this way and you can go to the Suns, or you can make that left and go into the Warriors presser. And I'm like.
See, that's why we need 2 seats.
Yep. Yeah.
Next year's goal is to get 2.
Yeah.
Because if we can get 2,
it was great.
Then you can go into one and I can go into the other at the end.
Yeah. And I didn't want to talk to any Warriors after that ass. They kicked our ass. Like that was it.
You're gonna have to get used to saying
they got taken away, and then Steph kind of made his
You're gonna
run.
have to get used to saying.
Shut the fuck up.
You're gonna have
We're
to get used to not
champions.
saying. Yeah,
We're
no.
champions.
What I was gonna say is relax. I was gonna say you have to get used to not saying us. You're part of the media now, bro. There ain't no us. It is the Golden State
It
Warriors.
did just say.
It is the Golden State Warriors. You went there and said, they beat us. No, you're writing upstairs, taking pictures. They beat
the
them.
crap out of the
Thank
Warriors.
you.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Yes, the 4-time champion in this era. Golden State
Check
Warriors,
them
one of the
rings.
great,
Check
one of the
them
great,
rings.
one of the greatest teams of all time. What a tremendous
Thank
ability.
you.
It is
Thank you.
going to have a special place in basketball lore. Moving on. Thursday night football tonight, 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 over here on the West Coast. You got the Baltimore Ravens rolling down south to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady -2 favorite at home. I don't like that the Ravens are underdogs in this because the Ravens are a better team right now. And it's 74% of the money's on the Ravens right now. I don't like that.
No, I don't.
But everything, now we've talked about this, ladies and gentlemen. Everything speaks to the fact that Baltimore should win this game.
Is Tom Brady going to get mad or is this going to get right?
Bro, they were 2 for 12 on third down last week against Carolina. Tampa Bay was 2 for 12 on third down. That don't get it done. Because you know what Baltimore did? Baltimore held Cleveland to 2 for 11 on third down. They smacked them around. Mike Evans, 5.5 receptions per game average. He's averaging 75 yards per game, 3 tutties. That's it on the season. Touchdown Lenny, playoff Lenny, 3.5 yards a carry, 51 yards a game, 1 touchdown on the season, and that was in week 1. Bro, everything leans that this should be a Baltimore victory. What say you?
So Tampa Bay -2. They're going down to Tampa Bay, so it's going to be a little bit different. But Baltimore needs to win. We thought Lamar hasn't been up to the standards that we're expecting. I think this season. At the same point, he's still productive.
He's hugely productive right now.
Obviously, it's him that leads
More with
this
the
team.
legs than with the arm this year.
And we need to see more from that defense. I think.
Well, they showed up last week. Let me tell you.
Yes. So Tampa Bay. They're a mess, and I do think they are going to get right. I mean, Tom never loses. I mean,
this isn't the same Tom. We have to be coming to accept that.
Old and
no, the ball still had zip. He just looks frustrated.
It's like mentally. There's something that like
mentally, there's something going wrong with him, like off the field that could be
getting divorced.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm taking the Ravens.
So I have Ravens 23-16. Last week's Tampa Bay run defense against Carolina, who just shipped out Christian McCaffrey, they ran 27 times for 173 yards, 6.4 yards a carry. They ran all over Tampa Bay's defense.
Yep.
The Carolina Panthers without Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
So what do you think Baltimore's going to do? No matter they don't have J.K. Dobbins. Gus Edwards was back. Lamar, that ability to
and they traded.
I can take off whenever I want. And just, you can't do shit about it because I'm stronger. I'm just as fast. And I've got these. Oh, no, I'm talking about Lamar Jackson, LJ8.
Oh.
He can whenever he wants. Tampa Bay's defense is not ready for this. They struggled against Carolina. They gave up 21 to Carolina, and Tampa Bay couldn't muster a tutty.
They're going to.
And we all say that, and what have we done in the last 5 fucking weeks, ladies and gentlemen? It's been, everything says Baltimore should win. I'm going to go with Baltimore on this. But fucking watch Tampa Bay pull some shit. Because it shouldn't happen.
Okay, so we're -2 for Tampa Bay. The over-under is 46.
75%
Would you put a bet that Lamar over 50 yards rushing?
Yes.
I would too. I think I'm going to.
I think he's averaging 50 on the season, I think. I think that's his average.
Let's see.
If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and we're going to jump in a little deeper into this matchup since it is tonight's matchup. The predicted score based on all the analysis is 20. That's why 28. God. They're saying it's going to be 28-18 Tampa Bay, based on the projections of what they do.
Are you joking?
No. I'm looking at this. Hold on. Let me go into the edge finders here. Let's take a look.
This is ridiculous. No fucking way.
I agree.
Is there like, are we?
That's just running through the predictors. That's not from us. This is what they have it on here going. Total score. See, this one has it being 26-20. Baltimore. Last 10, Baltimore's 5-2.
Yep, I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Although
Tampa Bay's not winning.
They're 3-4 against the spread.
No.
Baltimore is 2-4. Sorry, this year Baltimore's 2-4-1 against the spread, so they don't cover. Tampa Bay is also 2-5 against the spread, so they don't cover. So it's going to be a tie. I mean, if it's a 2-point and they don't cover either team,
I bet you it's 24-21.
It could be. I got 23-16 before I saw any of this nonsense. Tampa Bay's run defense is not
much fucking time.
No,
on this
but
game.
it's a Thursday game. It's the start of the week.
I know it's tonight, but like,
really, we're spending too much time on the guy that's the greatest quarterback of all time.
What has he done this season to watch?
I told you, bro, it wouldn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, if I had the Rock thing queued up here, because it doesn't matter. He's got the voodoo hex of the witchcraft on him. He's lucky he doesn't have a toe fall off this season, bro. Just rot off and fall off with whatever spell she put on.
His pinky's gonna.
No, she'd make it a foot thing. She wouldn't do it to his hand.
You're so fucking funny.
All right, so we will move on to the next game, which is
London
town. Now, I've never wanted to strangle or hurt somebody more in my life. Just
this
from the
motherfucker,
bro.
How corny was that fucking interview? Russell Wilson,
hold on, Mr. Unlimited. He doesn't get jet lagged anymore, dog.
No, it doesn't.
No,
exist.
It doesn't.
In his world, it doesn't exist.
Well, what he said was he got his body used to it. It's an 8-hour flight, bro. This isn't a 2-hour on your private.
Wait.
This isn't
So
you know how he got over it?
How long
flying
was it?
private.
It was
8 hours.
It was 8. Oh, okay.
8-hour flight.
He had to double check in.
It was 8 hours. He worked out for 4 of those hours.
But he watched video first for 2 hours.
Okay. So that's 6.
Then
he got an hour's sleep, and then the last hour, he watched more film.
But the way he explained it was like the last 2 hours, I watched more film, and then also, but I got an hour of sleep too.
So he watched film and slept, although he listened to film and slept.
So this motherfucker, dude, if you're my teammate and I'm like sitting here trying to sleep on a flight to London town, and you're doing high knees and fucking hitting my shoulder.
But are you hitting my shoulder? Or
I don't know. If you are, you.
Well, I don't think he was hitting people's shoulders. The plane that they're taking over there, by the way, is not what we're used to flying on or have seen. They're big. They have plenty of space. To me, it'd be more, I'm trying to sleep and it's quiet and the lights are off. And I don't care if he's doing that because people walk up and down the aisles on planes all the time, the stewardesses and all that stuff. It's not so much that.
You think he worked out for 4 hours?
No,
The Rock
of course
doesn't work out for 4 hours.
Well, I don't know about that. When he says working out, if he's doing high knees, my concern would have been them hearing him walking down the aisle going, let's ride. Let's ride.
I bet you he got like compression and like he got compression
therapy. Oh, he said he got treatment. So out of that, there was probably some of that going
2 hours
on.
of treatment, and then he probably worked out for an hour and then did stretching afterwards. Like, let's be fucking real.
He's just the worst. So let's go into why and what. This is on ESPN Plus, by the way. This game is on ESPN Plus at 6:30 in the morning here, 9:30 on the East Coast. Okay, Jacksonville's a 2.5-point favorite in their second home away from home in London. Denver. How do I put this? Their run D sucks. Their points per game is 32nd. Their third down percentage is 31st. They are a bad team. Now, with that being said, Russell is going to play. Hasn't mattered before, and it won't matter now. Okay? Jacksonville's going to win and cover, and the over probably will happen. Because I believe the over-under is, what's the over-under? 39.5? 39.5.
Yeah.
Travis Etienne is averaging 6.1 yards per carry this season, and it's not like he just started running last week. Okay? Jet lag doesn't affect Russ, but it probably affects the rest of the team. The team stinks. Their coach is on the hot seat after 8 games. This is kind of biblical proportions of ineptitude that's happening and all the pressure that's on there. And plus, a guy like Russ, after saying all that stuff, doesn't deserve to get a victory against a hardworking Jacksonville Jaguars team. I got Jacksonville 28-24. Oh, no, sorry. Wrong team. 27-17. And I think 17's a lot. Denver doesn't score 17. They'll get like a blocked kick or punt, return for a touchdown, fumble recovery. They're going to score on defense before at 27. Jacksonville has plenty of ways to score. Their defense is kind of playing pretty good football. Their run game is really well. Denver doesn't run well. It's on the road. Over in London. You have so much going against you. Give me Jacksonville minus the 2.5.
Denver does not score. The Broncos look bad. Everything in my mind tells me to pick Jacksonville.
So you're going Denver.
No, because the line where it's at, like with what?
2.5 field goal game. I can take it.
Yeah, I'm taking Jacksonville.
I can take that game. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, first off, I'm not betting this game, so it doesn't matter. But if I was to be betting this game, that would be it. Now, this next game is very important to both teams, both in the NFC, not in the same division, but with the Cardinals coming off of a Thursday night exciting victory like they did against New Orleans, which still should scare you that New Orleans still put up 34. They still put up points. And you guys scored 2 pick-6 touchdowns, as in you guys as in the Cardinals.
Are the Cardinals good? Are the Cardinals better than the Seahawks?
No. Right now, no, they're not.
I agree.
Considering, didn't Seattle beat them and Seattle has a better record?
Yep.
Okay.
Seattle's in first place in the NFC West right now.
And we'll get to the comeback player of the year, Geno Smith.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay. But
Cardinals 3-4. Obviously, D-Hop back last week, 14 targets, 10 catches, 103 yards. Why? The rest of the team only had 15 total targets. So Kyler threw the ball 29 times. He ran. I think Kyler had 30 yards rushing. Minnesota has struggled with running quarterbacks. The 2 that they've seen this year was an issue for them in both games, even though they're 5-1. The one was Jalen Hurts, and he rushed all over them.
Yeah.
I don't buy into, and shout out ASU, Eno Benjamin. He had like 17 carries, 92 yards, touchdown last week, ran hard. Good kid, good young man, not kid. Got to get used to saying that.
Yeah, we can't say boy.
Can't say kid anymore. Got to be young man. And when I say young man, they're all big. Now that you can see in front of you, 17-year-olds bigger than me. Looking at it from that perspective, I don't trust this offense enough to go on the road to a tough team and a tough atmosphere to play, even though the field is fast and there's no weather involved. Just because of what happened last week, I don't buy into what the Cardinals have cooking right now currently. Minnesota's pass rush defense, bro. 17 sacks, 32% pressure. That's like one of the highest in the NFL. Okay? You're going to have D-Hop out there with, I think, I think Patrick Peterson's going to be the one that's shadowing him, which Patrick Peterson's having a resurgence of his career here. Yeah. Because he kind of fell off. I don't know if it was scheme, if it was healthy. A lot of times it's health.
I don't think it was healthy. I
think it was health. He's allowing a 48.5 QBR against him. He's got 1 pick, 7 pass deflections, no touchdowns.
Look at you coming through with the stats.
Bro, Pat P's on it, but D-Hop's a different kind of bird. And remember, Pat played here, obviously, in Arizona, so there's going to be that. The second corner, however, for Minnesota, Cameron Dantzler, bro, he's given up 116 QB rating and a 76% completion rating. So,
it's not good.
Who's the second receiver for the Cardinals this week that's going to be catching the ball? Because Hollywood's out, right?
Yeah, Brown's out.
Okay, so who is it? Is it Robbie Anderson? Obviously it's Zach Ertz, but I'm saying it's gotta be from the number 2 receiver. Who's the number 2 receiver?
You're gonna have AJ out there, right? So you're gonna have AJ. You're gonna have.
I guess.
But he hasn't done anything. But
okay, so AJ.
But you throw AJ, Robbie, and
if they don't target AJ Green or D-Hop when Dantzler's on them, that will show the ineptitude of in-game changing of stuff as the game's going on, being fluid, and that's the difference between being a good head coach and a good play caller. You can be both, but it's rare that you are.
And they'll probably do a lot of little dumps with Murray as an option play, a little run play option. But D-Hop is such a good route runner.
Oh, he's amazing.
So I don't.
Minnesota's defense is good though, bro.
I know. I'm not.
Daniil Hunter getting after him.
D-Hop can chop up anybody.
100%. 100%.
Okay, so who are you taking?
I got 28-24 Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota.
And what I did was I wanted to give the scores and do all this before I saw what the covers were. So it didn't influence me. Oh, they've got them being 2.5-point favorite. So I didn't look at anything. I went through. It is 3.5. But I'm just saying in general. I didn't look at those when I went through making some of my picks of my scores to know. So I have them winning by 4 in the covers 3.5. I feel good about that because I'm within a half point of where they're at.
Oh shit, you're full of it. You didn't do that.
All right.
Just kidding. All right, what's next?
I promise you.
I promise.
I promise. We're not going to cover it very, we're going to go quick. Carolina at Atlanta. Atlanta's a 4-point home favorite. 63% of the money is on it. The over-under is 41.
Fuck about this game?
No. Well, actually, probably Tampa Bay does. Because if Atlanta wins, they're going to keep holding serve in that division. You know what I'm saying? So to me, yeah, this matters for Tampa Bay. They're going to play Thursday. They'll be watching this game on Sunday. Dude, Atlanta's 6-1 against the spread, bro. 6-1.
Yeah, it was just last week.
Carolina's 2-5, and they're 2-5 against the spread. You know what I'm saying?
Who's starting?
No, PJ Walker.
Oh, that's right.
They're not going to go away from him now. Look, Carolina's going to win this game. It's by how much? It's a 4-point situation. 63% of the money's on that. 72% of the money's on the over because they think it's going to be high scoring. Atlanta seems to score points. It's at home. They're better than we thought they were. They're 3-4, but they play tough. I mean, I'm obviously taking Atlanta in this because they're 6-1 against the spread and they're a better football team. I didn't go into my point prediction because I didn't really break this game down enough. And I think we kind of have gone into it enough.
Since you're picking Atlanta, I already wrote down Carolina, and I was going to change it because you made some great points. The 4 bothers me. That's what I feel like this could be a field goal game.
I got a.
Yeah, I'm taking Carolina. I'll just go with it because I
mean, why not? All right, so the next why not?
It kind of worked last week.
It kind of worked last week. It did not work for me. I had a bad week last week.
What I have 8 wins?
I think I had 5.
No, you were at 6.
Okay,
because I was at 7, and then I got the
8,
Monday night game.
All right, well, I'll take it. Not as bad as I thought. Chicago at Dallas, bro. So Chicago coming off of this Monday game where they handed it to the Patriots. Patriots have some quarterback issues. Offensively, they still don't have any key playmakers other than Ramondre Stevenson, running back wise. But they still have Bill Belichick. And he can scheme and do things, and I don't know that they provided anything better. They're a 9.5-point underdog going to Dallas.
No,
I know. I was talking about Chicago, like with what happened. They have a quarterback controversy going on with New England. They beat up on New England. Does that mean that they're offensively playing better? They're going to go into Dallas and play well? The Chicago Bears are going to go into Dallas and play well?
Yeah.
No. And for that, in my head, Dallas 9.5, that's a lot of points. But they are rolling right now. Chicago's defense, they just traded Robert Quinn. 9.5's a lot. And only 53% of the money's on it because 47% of the money is on Chicago to cover that. 9.5's a lot of points. I'm going to take Dallas, and I'm taking the points, even though I don't like it. But because we do pick every pick, that is where I'm going to have to lean. 9.5 is a lot of points. But Chicago, other than last week, when has Chicago scored? Last week, that was the most points Chicago's ever scored with Justin Fields.
Okay.
Ever. Everything else, what do they average this year? How many points do they average this year? 12?
18.
Okay, so they average 18.
Dallas averages 19.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still taking Dallas.
Come on, man. 9.5 points? Are you
9.5 points is a lot.
Fuck no. There's no friggin' way this is going. Like, this is why these games, like, everybody thinks Dallas is going to win. Dallas is the better team right now, absolutely.
Is this also coming for your hate for them because now you're a New York Giants fan as well? Is that where this is coming from?
No, I've hated the Dallas Cowboys since the 80s with our rivalry.
Oh, by the way, I'll get to that joke real quick because we are talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out Brooklyn Pauly. Brooklyn Pauly sent me a gift. He's like, you go ahead and feel free to use that on the show. Couldn't use it on that show. Can use it on this show. He goes, they shouldn't be called the Dallas Cowboys. They should be called.
Yeah.
They should be called. Forgive me, Ma. They should be called the Dallas Tampons.
Oh yeah, because
he said something about they don't
have a second string.
They don't have a second string.
And
no, they only have they don't have a second string.
But there was
something else to it. And I don't remember, and I'm not going to get into it. I don't care. That's good enough. Now people can go find it. Just look it up. The guy that says it looks like not Brooklyn Pauly, but the guy that says it looks like a total sleazebag.
Yeah.
Like a total sleazebag. Like Spanish fly sleazebag. Moving on.
Oh, it's gonna.
You're taking Chicago?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm taking Chicago.
All right. The next morning game, the Las Vegas Raiders on the road at New Orleans. New Orleans is a home dog. We usually like home dogs. 1.5 points. I mean, that ain't really nothing. 73% of the money is on the Raiders, though, because 1.5 points isn't nothing. It's a pick'em game. 49.5 over under. Is Jameis Winston back? I don't know. Does it matter? What would matter is Michael Thomas back? Is Jarvis Landry back? Are you taking a look at that right now?
I'm pulling up the joke because I'm not.
Oh my goodness!
I'm not going to be able to
All right.
walk away from
Well,
this.
in my opinion, we obviously saw the Raiders have played well, but don't have the victories to go along with it. Whether it was, one thing or another, they had a quite the get right game the week before. They're 3-3 against the spread. Now, the predictor score essentially has it as a tie game, but they're saying 27-25. I do not see it. They're going to have to get very gimmicky. The Raiders ran a rough shot last week on Sunday. Yeah, look at that dude. That dude looks like Jenner, Bruce Jenner transitioning. That actually looks like the in between, the before and after.
Yeah.
The in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that dude looks like.
Yeah. So they're only good for one period.
Yes.
And they don't have a second string.
Yes. It's clever. It's super clever.
It's just funny though. like great writing. Good job. Well done. All right. Okay. So, man, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Raiders.
The Las Vegas.
It's a 1.5 point game.
I don't like the fucking Saints, dude. Like this year, they're so gimmicky, but so are the friggin' Raiders. Like,
well, they might have figured it. It feels like last week the Raiders figured it out.
I agree. I feel like they made a little bit of like.
If they can lean on the run a little bit more, it helps with everything. They know that, and I just don't think that they were given Josh Jacobs his due. Did you see the stat about Josh Jacobs? And who's the greatest running back for the Raiders?
Bo Jackson?
No. Yeah, potentially. He was.
Okay.
But Marcus Allen.
Yes, I mean,
okay.
Longevity.
So
yes.
the first 50 games, how many yards, Marcus Allen has?
First 50 games?
First 50 games, how many yards he had.
So
I'm not
what is
asking
that?
you how many.
Okay.
I'm just saying the number that they had, Josh Jacobs had hit it in 49, and they don't run the ball. And in Marcus Allen's era, they ran the ball. Just to give you context, though, because I'm not saying he's Marcus Allen, but my point is production-wise, the game hasn't changed. 100 yards is 100 yards. The field's still the same length. It's still 60 minutes.
Well, yeah,
if they lean on that guy, because obviously they haven't.
But they also haven't had receivers for a long time, too. Like, they've had, like, little, small, like, kind of up-and-comers, and then they'll leave. Or they had old vets that would come in, and they were past their prime. Now they actually have studs. I mean, they have a good group. So let's see. I mean, yeah, use him, but also
I'm going to go with what I saw last week.
Open up the defense.
I'm going to go with what I saw last week. And I saw the Saints get outplayed with mental and mistakes and a team that's opportunistic playing better. The Cardinals they did beat the Raiders. They had no business beating the Raiders. We know this, right? We know this. They shouldn't have went to overtime. They shouldn't have done it. It took some miraculous plays from the Hail Murray. It took magnificent plays from KM1, whatever his fucking nickname is. And I don't mean there's a shot I just can't remember. I'm not good with initials. I'm not good with names. There's a lot of things I'm not good with. It happens. But what I like is, and I've said it all year, is that I think the Raiders are better than their record. They play better than their record.
They are.
And if they have figured out their offense, because their defense is opportunistic, Max Crosby, bad motherfucker.
And it's only -1.5 too. This is an easy pick.
It's a pick-em game.
This is an easy pick. I'm actually definitely picking.
And that also tells me if that those guys aren't healthy or they're game time. I don't see it enough to go that route. Now the next game I feel bad because
everybody's questionable. So it's like,
so they could play, could not play. It would make a difference. I don't know if it'll make a difference.
It's just the way that that they're going to be playing. Come on.
All right. Moving on. Miami at Detroit, indoors, early game. Miami up north, 3.5 point favorites on the road. 63% of the money's on Miami. Over under 51.5, and the majority of the money is on the under. Because Detroit the last couple of weeks have not been able to score since their scoring onslaught that had occurred earlier in the year. They're still down some people. Miami, I feel like they're picked up right where they left off before Tua got hurt. They were 3-0, then they went 3-3. Now, bang, they're 4-3, right? I like the Miami Dolphins in this game. A couple of years ago, so 2 seasons ago, Coach Charlie Weiss, shout out Coach Charlie Weiss, he made a very interesting point that he was down at Miami's camp. And this was the year that dude got let go, Flores. Okay. So he gets let go, and Lo and behold, he comes out of there and he says, this team looks like a 10-win ball club. I don't know if that means the playoffs, but he goes, I've been around a lot of 10-win teams, 10-win plus teams. This looks like a 10-win ball club. I won't be surprised if this team in the next couple of years is vying for the division.
Miami.
And he said this Tom's first year in Tampa Bay. So it was like he had just left New England and he knew Buffalo was going to be good. It was like, I could see that 100% being the case. It's just what they felt like. And I was listening to that and I was like, Coach, you are out of the loop, bro. But you were there, so I'm going to take your word for it. And guess what? He's right.
Well, they're the fastest fucking team in the NFL.
They were the slowest team last year.
Yes. But Waddle is waddling. He's got all of his different little dance moves all over the place. You have Hill, who's just unbelievable.
They're learning to use the tight end now.
His speed now.
Gesicki, after I cut him, has become, and they look like he's fantasy irrelevant. Thanks, and I let go of him.
The Lions are under the curse of Hard Knocks, and we saw glimpses of them putting up fucking like 42 points and then shitting the bed the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just
3 weeks.
they're not, and they have Jared Goff. Like, come on.
And you have to say that with too.
Detroit.
Jared Goff.
And I have friends that are Detroit Lions fans.
Oof.
Sean's a.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You said friends. I'm thinking I only know one.
So I have a couple, but it is rough. Like, really, they're like, no, I'm not. Dan Campbell is. He probably is the answer, but they need.
They need more. They just need more. We're not there yet. It'd be a mistake to do anything with that team. It'd be a mistake.
I would agree. You need a new quarterback. You need a little bit more, couple more weapons. What'd you do?
Nothing. Your wife texted us and said, check out the group chat. I don't know if I want to do that on YouTube. You want to pull it up on YouTube over there.
Okay. So -3.5.
Not that I don't want to because I'm scared. What the hell?
Okay. I'm taking the Dolphins.
You're taking the Dolphins? All right, me too. That's an easy one. All right, you're going to that now?
Yes.
All right, good.
Go to the next game. You start
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. All right, the New England Patriots at the up-and-coming New York Jets, +2.5 home dogs, 51% of the money on New England. Over, under 40.5. Most of them are rolling on that, the over. Jets, awful. Breece Hall out. We know. We talked about it. They traded for James Robinson. They have a couple of other guys. Pause the show so you're not watching it live. We don't have the echo part of it. That'd be weird. And then see if you can get in the chat. Is it not letting you? New England, like we were talking about. We've got quarterback issue. Is it Zappy? Is it Mac Jones? One might have gotten One might have gotten a concussion. The other one, it's an ankle issue. He's trying to rush to be back.
Okay, so nothing bad.
Oh, good.
So Carice wrote, are they really only good for one period? Which, I get it. That's funny. And then, do you really trust and believe in that Las Vegas head coach? I don't.
Well,
that was
I trust their
Tron.
players. From who?
Tron? Yeah.
Shout out Sean Robinson.
And then, of course, go Hawks. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I will tell you this. But getting to the game we're actually talking about with the New York Jets, they're 5-2. They're 5-2 against the spread. The Patriots 3-4, 3-1 on the road. Again, I went with but they have Bill Belichick. But at the same time, they may not have the horses other than the run game, which it runs well. But with what's going on with the quarterback situation there, and New England's 10-0 against them the last 10.
Yeah, but
not the same team. But not the same team.
So not Zappy, right? Is that what?
Yeah.
And so, but we also have Wilson back. So who has more weapons? With Breece being gone out from the Jets, him being gone for the
Jets still have a better receiving core than New England.
I would agree.
The Jets on offense, I'll just say their quarterback is right now they're the same. If not, Jets have an advantage. Okay. Not having Breece Hall and playing the way he did now, their backup running backs can carry the load right now because James Robinson's not going to get that many carries, I'd imagine, this week. So that kind of stinks. But he's there. He'll get I'm sure he'll have a small package.
You're such a little kid. Sometimes you get into those moments. Okay, so they both are averaging 22 points a game. Now,
we saw what Chicago did to them on Monday. That was embarrassing. It was defeating in my mind if I'm New England now. Coach Belichick will never let that happen to his team. They're too well coached and all those things, and they don't lose to the Jets. I get that, but this is a different Jets team. We've been told, and I'm going to believe it. I mean, a couple of those wins are lucky, but guess what? Every team that ends up with a good record has a couple of lucky wins. It comes down to if they make the playoffs, do they have the grit to move on? Because usually the lucky ones don't. It comes down to the team that dominated and had a few lucky bounces. This team hasn't been dominating. They just had a few lucky bounces. But Salah's got them playing well. Like you said, you're excited to see where they're at. They're starting to make that turn. They have a lot of belief in what they do. I think New England's reeling right now. I'm going to take cannot believe I'm saying this. But because why the fuck not? Everything else has been shitty. I'm going to take the New York Jets.
Dude, for the last 2 years, I have said fuck the New York Jets because I've hated them. And when
you hate some random teams that have no anything with your team,
AFC, has nothing to do with me, but it's just like, dude, you're just horrible. You're garbage to watch. I don't even want to watch it. Obviously, Saleh going there from the Niners, being our defensive coordinator, I was intrigued. I thought with him, I said 2 years ago that the Jets and Detroit will get better. Was right more so with the Jets than I am with Detroit. I think the Jets want to prove a freaking point
100%.
to Bill Belichick.
And it's in New York.
And Saleh, I think those boys are willing to fight for Saleh more than the boys are willing to fight for Belichick, if that makes sense, in a way that Belichick's like.
I hear what you're saying because of the newity of it. We're just now all getting
coach.
we're now just all getting good together. And this coach is a part of that situation. So we're just now getting good together. So, yes, I would say in the moment, I would agree. But at the same time, Bill holds that ultimate GOAT respect.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing is that's why they want to rally around Saleh, because I think a lot of those players heard a lot of the bullshit in weeks 2, 3, and last year that Saleh needs to go back to being a coordinator. He doesn't have that coach in him. He's not going to be that leader. Now you're starting to see it that he's kind of relaxing and he is thrusting again. Like you see him on the sideline. I love that.
That's a strange and peculiar term.
Thrusting? Okay.
You,
he's flexing on everybody now.
There you go.
Okay.
Where have you? We're just gonna let that go. I don't know what the fuck that was. All right. So what are you doing? Obviously, you're leaning towards the Jets. Is that what I'm hearing? I'm so flabbergasted right now. Yeah, I use that word because of what you're using the Jets.
Move on.
All right.
Do we need to speak too much on this next game?
What, the Pittsburgh-Philly game?
Yeah.
I mean, 10.5-point dogs on the road. Philly's rolling. It's in state. People from Pittsburgh don't like people from Philly, vice versa. They both think that each other are a bunch of uneducated hillbilly rednecks or Johns or whatever you want to call them.
But this is the biggest spread of the week, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Well,
no,
I was about to say,
11.5. That's right.
I think there might be one that might be changing. Almost 6% of the money's on Philly. 43, the over-under. They have it going over simply because I think that they believe that Philly's going to score 30+. Pitt can score. Obviously, young quarterback, lots of mistakes, going to happen. Is there a potential for a T.J. Watt sighting? Is T.J. Watt
It doesn't matter.
playing? Well, it does, because here's the thing.
Is Pickett starting?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm assuming he is. If he's healthy, he's starting.
Then there's 3 picks that are going to be probably 2 for pick sixes.
Oh, man, you're putting a lot on there. So you're taking
Eagles
Philly?
Defense.
I'm taking Philly.
As much as I don't.
10.5's a lot.
Well, I've shown 11. So even with that, that doesn't change anything for me. The Steelers, this could be one of those stupid freaking games, but the Eagles are so dang good.
I feel like the Steelers already got that with the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
I feel like they've already gotten that one and week 1 against Cincy. Catching a team off the Super Bowl that lost, week 1,
Cincy
being able to go to
right.
overtime.
They're
Cincy missed 3 field goals to win the game throughout the game. You know what I mean? So I can see there being, I don't think there's a horseshoe up their ass this week is what I'm saying.
I think as much as I hate going and as confident as I am in Philly, I should pick the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way I'm thinking of it normally.
Mm-hmm.
But the Eagles' defense and the way that they're playing, they're so much better than the Steelers. If they don't win by 2 touchdowns, this is going to be interesting. So, okay. What's next?
Philly. All right. So real quick, we're not even going to jump into this game. Tennessee at Houston. Houston 2.5-point dog at home. 13% of the money is on Houston. 80% of the money is on Tennessee. 40.5 is the over/under. They got the over.
Tennessee's only minus 2.5.
Yes, well, because Tennessee's unpredictable. They've been good. They've not been good, but they've won and looked better as of recent. I'm taking Tennessee, even though 87% of the money I don't like, but I'm taking Tennessee. Houston hasn't proved us nothing other than they should be playing they're playing to get basically the first pick, and with the way the Browns are playing, the 5th pick. So they could be from worst to first real quick in that division because nobody wants to win that division because Indy stinks. They benched Matt Ryan for the season, regardless of his shoulder strain, for Sam Ellinger. See what they have going on. This is problematic. So, give me Tennessee on the road in Houston in the afternoon on CBS. Feel free to check your local listings.
Everything in my gut says, obviously, the Titans are going to handle this game. And minus 2.5, I like that spread, so that's why I'm going to pick them. But in my gut, I'm like, shut the fuck up and go pick the Texans. But now I'm taking Tennessee.
All right. So I'm going to open this game up real quick, and then I'm actually – that's what beautiful about live.
You're
and it
worried
being
about
YouTube,
my
bro.
words, and you can't even pronounce words.
Listen, but I know what word I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Now the Giants, your New York Football Giants, Brooklyn Paulies, New York Football Giants, on the road all the way across.
Smoking cigars.
Up in Seattle, the Pacific Northwest, 4-3 upstart, first place Seattle Seahawks with the comeback player of the year, the resurgence of the year, as through week 8
so far.
Okay, as through week 8, that is where it's sitting.
And
now you have a lot you'd like to talk about this. I got some stuff I want to talk about, but what I was going to say is, you sir go ahead and talk all your bullshit about how the New York Giants, you love all that for the next 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay. So here's what I have to say, is that I've been on a trip with the New York Giants. Absolutely. With that being said, they're traveling cross-country to Seattle. That doesn't bode well. That doesn't typically ever turn out well. Seattle is better than they thought. They're first in the NFC West. So, you have to give Seattle respect. As much as it hurts me to say that, I mean, they're only one game ahead of the Niners and the Rams. However, Seattle's a lot better. Pete Carroll was right. He knew to ship that little shithead out of town, send him to Denver. Geno can still actually do what they do, and they're going to run the game, rely on their defense. I am going to take the Seahawks this week. I know I hate saying that, but the fact of with what we're dealing with the Seahawks and the Giants, this is going to be a actually really good game. It really will. As many people think that, okay, it's the Seahawks, it's the Giants. This might be one of the games of the week. It really is. This is going. We have a 5-1 going up against a 4-3. Seattle's -3 at home, so that typically says that it's even. Normally, you get 3 points at home. Even with that, I'm taking the Seahawks.
You are.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
Taking the Seahawks, huh?
Maybe I'm just trying to please the wife for the week. Maybe that's what it is, but who knows?
Either way, we're not even gonna get into what you just said.
What I said is
we're not even gonna get into what you just said.
What you missed is that when you travel east to west, typically you don't win. It's very hard. I mean, I know everything has changed now with flight times and everything. Blah 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 blah. I'm still. Right. I think the Giants are the better team. I really do, but I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
All right, so let me give you my information real quick on this game, and you can make it. Now, your dude, Saquon, is averaging 103.7 yards per game total. Daniel Jones has only thrown 2 INTs. With a QBR rating of 90, which is pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's here's what it is. It's run-of-the-mill. It's nothing spectacular. There's nothing in the hundreds.
It's what it needs to be.
It's what his top potential is.
Okay,
and it's
Daniel
working for what they're
Jones
doing.
Better?
No, Daniel Jones is not better. Geno's QB rating this year is 107.7. He's got 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Jones, I think, has
6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Okay. No DK. Didn't really matter last week because they only had 1 catch, 12 yards, went out early in the game. Not as bad as they thought it was going to be. He'll be back. Tyler Lockett, however, might be, I think he's on the injury report. If he doesn't have Lockett and he doesn't have Metcalf, they're going to rely heavily on Kenneth Walker Jr. And probably Will Dissly and the tight end core that they have there. Seattle's run defense is allowing 4.9 yards per carry and has 10 touchdowns allowed on the ground. So Seattle's going to give up some
Tyler
rushing.
Lockett is not on the injury.
Okay, good. Seattle's going to give up some rushing, and that's what the Giants do best. But I don't think the Giants, who just traded their best offensive player other than Saquon and Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs, shout out, breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
Give Pat Mahomes another weapon. I got Seattle at home, 26-21. So I had them winning by 5. What's the spread?
3.
All right, so they'll cover.
Yeah.
In my opinion, in my world, they're covering. I don't see 57% of the money's on the Giants. The over/under is 44.5.
That's exactly why. This is.
I got them scoring 47 total between the two teams. So yeah, I mean, it kind of correlates with everything that I think. Granted, everything that I've thought this year has gone batshit sideways, and some weeks makes no sense.
I hate to pick the Seahawks just because, in division, because then that means if they win, they're still going to be in first place for us. It's going to suck.
Yeah, but you can't go with what you want to see happen.
I know the Giants. I really do think the Giants can and should win this game, but the Seahawks will win. All right, what's next?
Oh, what's next is your game. And I say you because we don't cover the NFL with credentialed media, so you can still say your San Francisco 49ers. 1.5 point favorites. On the road in LA. The Rams coming off a bye week. They're 3-3. You guys are 3-4. You both basically are not good against the spread. There's no way I'm taking the Rams. And I don't like saying that because you know how I feel about the Niners. But with them adding Christian McCaffrey, them getting their asses handed to them at home last week by the superior Chiefs, they are. And now that might not be at the end of the season, but they are right now.
Injuries.
Some of that is absolute injuries. And some of that is, we talked about it, Kyle Shanahan 1-29, went down 3 or more going into the fourth quarter. The dude does not come back. After the 15 scripted plays at times, same thing in Green Bay, same thing in Tampa Bay. The difference is Shanahan is a head coach, but he's just always been a very good play caller because it's just been in his DNA from the jump. And because he still has his dad, Mike Shanahan, as a consultant, Mike's drawing up. Listen, Mike is an unofficial assistant head coach to this team. Mike Shanahan, his dad. Because he talks about how him and his dad get together and they scheme for the week. His dad will be at home watching the All-22 and then go, hey, this is where, X, Y, and Z. This is they are susceptible to this type of run. Okay, and then he'll start figuring out what that looks like. When you have the type of interchangeable players like Kansas City does, like San Francisco does, and knows how to use them, it makes it very difficult for a defense. Granted, the LA Rams defense, pretty good on paper, and at times, still elite. You still have Aaron Donald. You still have Ramsey. You still have the linebacking core that's pretty good. Their offense has slipped this year. And if they are not going to be able to get that offense right, which your guys' defense, Bosa's back, you guys have had some –
we were number 1 through what we
There's a reason you guys are favored on the road against the defending Super Bowl champions in division.
Yes.
Okay? Granted, it's not that big of one, but they've got you guys winning basically 21-17 is what the analysis says.
Yeah, I mean,
McCaffrey's going to get the ball more this week.
Shanahan and McVay, we're 7-4 against. So we have 7 wins versus 4, okay? So in this era, we're on the up. Now, you look at actually McVay versus Shanahan in total wins. McVay has 57 wins, 27 losses versus Shanahan 40 and 44 in the same era.
Mm-hmm.
So, doesn't look right, but it's the fucking Rams.
I'm not going to give historical data that's going to make that decision.
Because it's the Rams.
Different team.
Rams are completely different every week.
And what you say, the Rams do Rams things.
Yes.
And that's what they would do. Now, your team also does some things, but I do think right now you are playing better than them.
We have a better team. We do have a better team.
Yeah, but a lot of times, better team doesn't always win. I'm still taking San Francisco in this game. I didn't give a score because I didn't go into that much detail in this game because I figured you're going to cover enough of that.
I didn't take us last week, and we didn't win. So I'm taking
you guys this week.
But
so you'll win.
Let's go Niners. Yeah, I think we're a better team. This isn't I'm going to do the opposite of what I think is going to happen. I actually think we're just going to fucking stomp the goddamn Rams out.
All right, so here's a game we're not going to cover much on. Washington on the road. Indy a 3-point home favorite. 60% of the money is on Washington. 39.5 is the over-under. The over is being hit hard because people think neither team can play defense and somebody's going to score. I am not sure. I don't care. I'm not betting this game. You're asking me, do I like Heineke on the road? over Sam Ehlinger's first start in Indy? Probably, but I don't trust Washington. That's why Indy's -3. 60% of the money's on Washington. I mean, hell, we want chaos. There's chaos in the NFL. Give me Sam Ehlinger getting this victory in Indianapolis Colts winning this game. I
stole it from me. That's
sorry,
what I was going to do. I think the exact same thing. I think that this is a get-right game. I think being in Indy,
we hope so.
Them being at home, they've been getting a lot of shit. They've been getting beat up on even Pat McAfee, who they're half their
and he has to love them. He's just like, this is
like
tough.
he and DB are tearing them up. Like it's just,
Darius Butler for y'all that don't know.
Oh yeah, the DB. So it's just, I'm going to go with the Colts. I think that this is a game that everybody thinks with Heineke, it's going to be, kind of obviously over a new starting quarterback. Yeah.
Heineke hasn't played bad. He hasn't played great. I mean, there's times where you get why he is where he is, and I think part of that just comes from, like in college where he played. When you play at a smaller school,
he has that grit and grind.
He does, but like he reminds me a lot of, and I've seen a lot of bad quarterback play in Cleveland over the years. Too much to actually even remember all the players.
Something,
bro, and all of them were bad, and all of them were bad. But all of them had very similar things that was why they were bad. Held onto the ball too long in the pocket because they don't have the spatial awareness all the time, like the elites, to feel the rush. And that it happens sometimes.
Or a quick release.
It happens sometimes to Rodgers. It happens sometimes to Brady. Sometimes it happens to Pat. But those guys know. Yep. Those guys know. Well, and these guys don't at all. Now, with that being said, like I said, I'm going to go with Indy at home. Indianapolis had basically made this a homecoming game. They were like, they were doing something for one of their players, or they're doing an alumni thing, and all the guys are going to be back. And it was like, this is the game they picked. And they picked it because Carson Wentz was going to be the quarterback coming back into town. Like, there was a whole picked on purpose type situation to kind of not happening because you got Heineke. It's Heineke time.
Yeah.
So then, moving on, the Sunday night game, the Green Bay Packers versus the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's obviously rolling. They're 5-1. They're 4-1-1 against the spread. The Packers, worst start since like 2002 or some shit like that. They're 3-4. They're 2-5 against the spread. The Packers allow 124.8 QBR rating, which is fourth highest in the NFL, on play action passes. Okay? And that's important because Buffalo, number one team in play action passes. You know what the Green Bay Packers are? They're not. They're 28th. And on defense, they're 30th. This is so bad for them in that regard. Buffalo is rolling. It's at home. They have the offense going. They have the defense going. They are on a mission. Almost sound like mission from God, like the Blues Brothers. Shout out.
That was good.
But they are. They're on a mission for the brethren that is the Buffalo Bills Mafia, the four teams that went in the 90s, because they're all still so tied to this team. There's nothing else in Buffalo besides them and the Sabres. I don't even know if the Buffalo Sabres are still there. I don't know if the hockey team still exists there. I'm not sure. Either way, this is what they have. It's like Nebraska football. That's the only thing that happens in Nebraska. Two things happen in Nebraska a year. Football and the College World Series. Other than that, it's corn. Okay, there ain't nothing going on. Same thing here. This is all they got.
And the Buffalo Bills are on a fucking mission to, like
I said, a mission
punch it down your throat, not just win.
They want to be dominant.
They're like that college team. Like, this is like when Ohio State was like just murdering
dominating
people.
Everybody.
You're winning 56-10 type stuff. Yeah. This is what Buffalo Bills want to do, and Green Bay does not look right. They need to symbolize their offense. That's what Aaron Rodgers keeps saying.
Yep.
We need to symbolize it. We talked about it on the radio show.
I don't think Green Bay can score enough points to beat Buffalo. No. Even if Green Bay's defense gives the Bills fits, I don't, and not Fitzpatrick or Fitzmagic or Fitzfragic, whatever you said. Not that kind of Fritz. They do not have the ability to score enough. I just don't see them scoring enough. Now, 11.5. You say 11.5?
Yeah. So
11.5 is a big number.
So now, with that being said,
and 60% of the money is on Buffalo.
Right. And Green Bay's averaging 18.3 points per game, and Buffalo's averaging 29.3. So that's like exactly 11.
Green Bay's defense has showed me nothing. Now, unless there's weather that would hamper the passing game.
But that's it. But both of them are weather. Josh Allen will just run through.
No. That's what I'm saying. It would actually, the weather would hurt. The weather would actually hurt Green Bay.
Oh,
in my opinion.
I got you.
Because, like what you just said, now, granted, the Buffalo Bills running game isn't as good as they probably like it to be, but it's enough. Obviously, teams are respecting the run game enough in Buffalo if they're number one in play action pass. You know what I'm saying? So they're respecting the handoff. And it's not like it's the play action pass off of the fake sweep I'm going to hold back. We're talking traditional drop back. I'm faking the handoff, rolling, and there's the difference.
Little draw, yeah.
Look, Green Bay's 1-4 against the spread in the last 5. They're 3-6 under the last 9. They're 1-5 in their last 6 on the road against the spread. Nothing states, and they've showed nothing.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb out indefinitely, ankle. Bakhtiari probably not playing. Alan Lazard left the game and is questionable for Sunday with a shoulder.
Literally, Aaron Rodgers can't will this team to win.
Not
the
like
Buffalo
this.
Bills are so good. They're
like
stacked.
this.
And Josh Allen is the better quarterback this year. He absolutely is.
Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL today.
As of today.
This season.
Yes.
In this season.
Correct.
Not he's better overall than all these other guys.
Correct.
In this season, he is number 1, and Joe Burrow's making a push to be right up there at number 2. Like he's really turning it up.
We have
this year.
We have the new era now.
And I'm sure, and Pat Mahomes, obviously, I'm not
Mahomes,
forgetting him.
Allen, Lamar,
Lamar, but that was early.
Herbert.
No, this year, just in this season, the 2022 season.
I know, but what I'm saying, the
give
new
me,
era.
Give me Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes is playing at that level. You've got who'd we just say? The third one. Lamar. Yeah. Oh, Jalen Hurts this season is playing like that, and Joe Burrow. Like, there's your top 5 elite quarterbacks currently this season. This season, you got to do a lot to pass up any of these other guys historically.
But Geno's up there.
But in this, exactly. Like in this season, Geno is now. If you're asking me, who am I trusting more?
Josh Allen's hands out.
Who am I trusting more? I'm trusting Pat Mahomes over everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Out of our top 5, not give me Rodgers, don't give me Brady. I'm taking them out.
Just because of the wins. But what I see in the future, I think Josh Allen.
Well, we always go back to, ladies and gentlemen, we know this. I've been beating this in, and I hate it, I wanted Josh Allen as a Cleveland Brown. I wanted them to take him with the number 1 pick. Instead, they took Baker, no touchdown maker. They took him. So, here or there, everybody that made those decisions are gone.
Okay,
and that's called a segue, bro. By the way, I'm segueing into the next game because we have one more game left, and it happens to be on Halloween.
So I'm going to be over here with the wife.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be watching the game.
I thought about going YouTube live on Halloween.
We should do a little one.
We might. Stay tuned.
We'll do a
I'm taking Buffalo.
show.
I got Buffalo. What's funny, dude, and I thought it was 10.5. I got Buffalo winning 31-20, and I think that 20 is being gracious.
Yeah. I mean,
they've showed nobody nothing. They can't honestly believe that.
The most points that Green Bay's put up is 27. So they can put up that much. It's just I don't
not
see
against
them
this Buffalo defense.
Against this defense, and I would honestly be surprised if they score more than 17 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
I agree.
All right, let's get into your game with your transition.
8:15 Eastern, 5:15 on the West Coast. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals 3.5-point favorites on the road in Cleveland.
Isn't that disrespectful?
Well, Cleveland does not look good. They haven't looked good since week 3. They've done some things in their game that only the Cleveland Browns teams do. And we're not going to bore you with what those are, because if you're listening to this and you're a Browns fan, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. 78% of the money's on the Bengals. This is probably...
I don't like that. But, it's such a...
The over-under 46.5. We're still out Wyatt Teller for another few weeks. I think with the calf strain is what we were told. I don't know if he's playing this week, but it's what it was last week. Jacoby Brissett's still playing the quarterback. Unless we are going to get our head off... I say we because we're not covering them by like credential media. We, the Cleveland Browns, haven't been able to put together a play calling plan for 4 quarters that would give us the ability to win the game. We had chances last week, and don't tell me it's because
coaching?
Yes, right now 100% is coaching. 100% is coaching. They're 100% it's coaching. I don't know how much more I can get to say, but yes, it is absolutely coaching.
Yeah, you guys went completely backwards this season. It's not looking good. I don't like it. I was actually really hopeful for you guys. But I think with all the drama surrounding going into the season, we were talking about your quarterback for the last year and a half, 2 years about craziness. And you guys have a talented team, but you're just
We're 2-5. We're 3-4 against the spread. The Bengals are 4-3. They're 5-2 against the spread. They've gotten their act together. You saw what happened last week. He had almost 400 yards in the first half. Our defense is not playing up to par. There's talks about maybe potentially trading Greedy Williams. There's potentially talks about trading Kareem Hunt.
yeah, I could see
Ridiculous.
you guys.
This makes no sense in doing that. Although in the last 10, we are 7-3 against them.
Didn't Hunt request a trade though?
Earlier in the year.
Yeah, but then they got
it worked out.
but
But if you can get something from, I don't like that if you can get something from him because I never understood this in the NFL. And somebody way smarter than me that's in that a GM one day, hopefully I'll be able to sit down with, we'll be able to sit down with and ask them these questions. But why in the hell would you trade? Like, look at what Robert Quinn just got traded for.
what was it for a 6th round pick?
Like a 4th and a 6th. It was like 2 picks. Hold on, you're telling me that we could have given up that to get that? Like, why is it that the value is so far
Off of what they were drafted from?
Yes.
And
not just what they were drafted for, what they've done on the field.
But Quinn's a beast.
Production.
Like, and he went
So why would you give up Kareem Hunt for a 4th or a 5th or a 6th round pick? Is that 4th or 5th or 6th going to be better than Kareem Hunt? Odds are no. And is that 4th or 5th or 6th going to help you this season? Well, hell no, because you haven't picked him yet.
Yeah, the what we gave up for McCaffrey.
I know it's a long game and I get it,
Was
but
not.
sometimes it's like, let's not try to be the smartest people in the room. Let's just be the most logical. Does it make logical sense when you are 2-5 and you're battling? And it's not like you're going to get to keep your pick this year. Remember, it's going to Houston. So you want to win this game, many games as fucking possible.
Yeah. You know what's actually
Bengals are playing better though, and yes, historically in the last 10, even with Joey Burrow, like the Browns since Burrow's been with Cincy, he's only won 1 game against Cleveland, maybe. And actually, I think I'm being generous. I don't think he's actually beat us. I think Joe Burrow is defeated against the Browns, but this is a different team at a different time in the season with a different quarterback, and that makes all the difference.
And you have Jamar Chase. So
I'm taking Cincy minus 3.5. I didn't write down the score, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I know it's Halloween, it's spooky.
Cincy minus 3.5, that's easy.
And Cleveland's going to be loud, and it's going to be ruckus. People will be dressed up, so there's going to have some sort of an element there.
Something that's going to be off on this game. I feel like this is what I almost want to take you guys, but there's no way. I don't.
Are you going to take us?
No, I'm taking Cincy.
All right.
But I do have an interesting stat that I think is really interesting. So you guys have a 2-5 record right now.
Mm-hmm.
Your first round goes to the Texans next year. The Saints have a 2-5 record. Their first pick goes to the Eagles next year.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos are 2-5, and their first round goes to the Seahawks. We might see the Eagles and the Seahawks get pretty dang good next year. With some
Time for another Battle of Ohio. Cleveland
That's right. Time for another Battle of Ohio, baby. Just going right into what we were talking about.
Oh my God!
That was awesome.
All roads lead to Ohio.
Well, Cleveland, but yeah, not Ohio. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't lead to Ohio.
You don't want to be a part of.
Let me tell you something that really does it's astounding to me. The Bengals are 8th in the league in offense.
Well, yeah, because they stunk.
The Browns are 3rd. Defense, Browns are 19th. Bengals are 13th. Kind of even. Passing, though, which is the main name of the game in the NFL these days. Bengals are 4th. Browns are 17th. It makes a lot of sense because guess what? Rushing, the Bengals just don't use Joe Mixon. They're 26th in the league in rushing. The Browns, 3rd. So if you look at it that way, you could see how the Browns could win looking at it from paper, looking at it from the stats, the analysis, and all that stuff. But with the eye test, Jacoby Brissett is proving what he is. He's good for a few games. He's got a very short shelf life, and they are not optimizing the ability to use him now. And if they would have injected Josh Dobbs into this situation right here, this would have went from 3.5 to probably 4. But I may have taken them straight up. Either way, they've got the Bengals 25-22. NFL.com does. They have the Bengals not covering. I will tell you this: the person that comes up with this, though, he used to be a Browns fan.
So
when we took in Deshaun Watson, we had a lot of people jump ship, which I understand. I wouldn't do it, but I understand. I root for the color of for the color of the uniform and the team, the city it's in, not the player. When they leave, I don't follow usually, because I've been a fan since I was a kid. I'm going to continue to be. I'm not going to let one guy's little 5 to 7 year career blip of a radar on the team take away all of my stuff.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
And then turn into some wokeness. But that's for another day, another time, another topic, another podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I would never leave the Niners. Like, there's nothing you could do besides maybe sell the team, change the name, and
Sell a team, change the name, and they moved to Portland.
then I'm no longer. Right. Well, then I can't be a Niners.
Right. They wouldn't even be the Niners.
So yeah, like that would be the only thing. Besides that, yeah, I understand.
They'd be the Portland Weirdos.
But with Joe Burrow, I think we talked about it on the radio show. He's the only person in the entire world.
Yeah, you did drop that stat.
NFL history to have 500 yards, 4 touchdowns multiple times. Only one. So yeah.
But you know what? And guess what?
It doesn't matter.
Hold on.
It doesn't matter what you think.
I did have it. I just had to pull it up. I wanted to make sure I had it in here.
Oh my God. Yeah. So Bengals, take it, Cincy.
All right. Well, I mean, those are the picks, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we've kind of gone through everything. I mean, I guess baseball's going on. Has the World Series started yet?
No, Friday.
Okay. That's sad because I didn't know if it did, and I wouldn't be shocked if it did. I wouldn't be shocked if it did. I wouldn't be shocked if it did.
We got NBA. I mean, it's nice. Like you see these things like on the weekend on Saturdays and Sundays, you're seeing, all the slates of college games and then Sundays football games, but NBA games. Now you have the World Series. We're in where everybody's playing. NHL's going. Like, this is awesome for anybody that's a sports fan in any realm.
Absolutely.
And Ronaldo's leaving Manchester United, so.
If I knew about that and it mattered to me, I'd talk about it, but I got no idea. Shout out GP. He's the only one I know that watches soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. English,
it's so interesting.
English Premier League. I just don't.
Well, did you know how they structure it, right?
Yeah, but I like the idea of, you don't, we can kick you down.
You can go down
and
if
you could be all the way at the bottom, and if you keep winning, you can make your way up. I get it, and I like that idea of it, but I'll tell you this. The amount of sports and everything we have going on in our world, in our head, and what we do, I've already, my brain capacity for all the other stuff that we have to do has already kicked out what fantasy football used to be. So that's why I'm sucking ass in fantasy football the last 2 years, because I've just been pushing it out. Because they're focusing on real bets.
It is true.
Dude, I'm not focusing on stuff.
We do betting.
And I don't want to use that as an excuse.
But we have fantasy, we have our show, we have the stuff we're writing for journalism, we have our radio show, we have the podcast. Yeah, there's a lot that it's like
and
sports
guess what?
Is over.
We actually need more content as well. So, I mean, that takes up full time. I'm just not, I can't do that and be productive in my house.
You want to have a
because it's wintertime now.
My wife is
It's wintertime, and we have this like running joke. It's wintertime, James. Bears go and hibernate in the winter. Yeah. I do the opposite because I don't drink coffee any other time of year except for now. So like I drink coffee, get 2 or 3 cups in me.
It's cold, so you're not going to sweat.
Right. And iced coffee just doesn't do it. I mean, I'm around here doing everything. Not everything. She does a lot. I'm saying, but like I'm doing more. I come out of hibernation in the wintertime.
You got that little crackhead in you again. I
get buzzing, bro. I'm like, all right, we're gonna do next. What do I do? And then my body says, "Fool, what are you doing?"
When you get that, when you drink and finish that black coffee, because I don't do sugar or the cream anymore and doing all that. Like now we get older, we got a dietary stuff. But you get that black coffee in you, man. That next hour, like as soon as that kicks in,
you're jolted. Woo!
Yeah,
let's roll.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's ride.
No, stop it. See, he is your favorite player.
It's just sad.
You love him.
No,
there's something.
I love to hate him. You're right. You're right. Because guess what? I used to love to hate Draymond Green, and then I started listening to his podcast, and I really appreciate what he says. Even though I don't like him on the court, but I appreciate. Like we've talked about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Kobe. Like I didn't like Kobe at all, but I learned to respect his game. Always respected, but then really learned to admire it his last like 5 years, and then afterwards, obviously, so all that stuff. Well, no, it's like always. But I was a LeBron guy. I'm a Cleveland guy. We wanted to win. It was us. And then when LeBron left,
basketball's always been about
when LeBron left Cleveland, and the Cleveland went from having 61 games a year on the TV to having 0.
The Lakers fucking suck this year.
Yes, they do. I was a Mark Jackson Golden State Warriors fan.
Yes.
I was a huge Steph Curry, Clay. I loved that group. And I still feel like Mark Jackson deserves a majority of the credit for at least the first championship, if not the second.
Mark Jackson was the first person to say that this backcourt is going to be the greatest shooting backcourt of all time, and everybody
and he's not wrong.
Shitted on him.
So I can listen, you know how much I don't like them, and I can 100%, when it's right. They are the greatest shooting backcourt of all time. Steph's the greatest shooter of all time, and Clay's probably the second or third greatest shooter of all time as far as like shot selection, the percentage, where it goes, when they hit them, career-wise, not accolades of, they won this or did that. The actual just ball in hoop.
Yep.
Just ball in hoop. Yes, they are.
They changed the game.
100%. So, because not everybody could be 6'9" like LeBron and be a freight train and play like this for 22 years. But kids can learn to shoot from 35 feet. That's where, he changed the game.
Well, you got to be strong.
He changed. Well, yeah, and that's why. But you also see where some of these come from. It's one motion. It's not an up. It's not that.
It's not wrist.
Yeah, it's catapult. Shout out Kyle. He knows what I'm talking about.
Hey, so I want to give a shout out. Speaking of shout outs, to Sonia, and I'm wearing the sweatshirt. We represented this last year, but sportsvibes.org, they support youth sports. So check it out if you haven't looked at it already. But it is a great organization. So love you, Sonia. Please, if you have a chance, check it out. So we're going to be not on the air on Monday because it is Halloween. So
we might do a quick.
Well, not on the radio show.
No,
but we might do a YouTube show here since we're going to be here. Why not?
Yeah,
maybe we'll bring in some trick or treaters.
Yeah,
see what happens. Or maybe we can do it out in front.
No, we'll do it here while all that's happening.
Werewolf and all
and they'll
the
just see us. Yeah,
that'll be fun. But yeah, check us out. Instagram
is JOW_RR.
Yep. And then our
YouTube,
website,
James.West,
the
James.West.com.
website
looks pretty good.
We got all of the stuff that I wrote on Tuesday, and then all the stuff that James has written before, because this was the first time that I actually participated in journalism. But it was a blast. It was so much fun. What else are we on?
iTunes, Spotify, Google Play if you're a psychopath. You can ask Siri or Alexa or Google, again, if you're a psychopath, to help you find us on anything. You can listen to us live on the radio if you're not in Phoenix on KDUS1060.com. What else we got going on? Oh.
Covering ASU, covering the Suns, and then you got new cards for us.
Business cards. I actually didn't even put either of our names on it like that. It says James.West featuring Ryan Rooks, sports entertainment shenanigans, James.West.com, my phone number in the back, the scan codes for. And I'd already made them before you sent me the Instagram one, so too bad. Either way, business cards, we're coming up in the world, ladies and gentlemen. This will be up shortly. If you're not watching this on YouTube Live, it'll be up by this evening on Spotify and iTunes and all that good stuff.
On the podcast.
We won't have one if we don't, because we're not doing one Monday probably, but if we do, it'll get up and be all over that as well. So I got Suns this Friday and Tuesday. You've got them next Friday, I believe. Exciting stuff, my brother.
Dude, it's fun, man. Being down on that bottom floor and being able to just be in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. NBA has always been my first love.
Yes, sir.
NFL is now my new love that I've always loved the 49ers, but being able to be around NBA players is a dream, and it was epic. So
right on, brother.
Thank you, and I'm excited. One love, everybody.
All right. Peace. Oh, man. You haven't cut it off yet. I can play. Come on now. You can't hear it, but I can, and they can hear it.